Good day, class. Do you still remember our story Tutu? Last time, we used Tutu's story when we learned how to identify a flashback. Remember how the story went back to Tutu's past? Today, we are going to read the story again. But this time, let us put on our thinking caps and listen carefully to the words and what they really mean. Tutu sat quietly outside the house while his owner packed bags inside. Tomorrow, they would move to a new place, and Tutu felt worried. He looked at the road and wagged his tail slowly. As Tutu watched the sky, he suddenly remembered the past. Before, he was a small puppy left alone on the street. He was scared and hungry, and cars passed by quickly. Tutu remembered how his owner found him, gave him food, and brought him home. From that day on, Tutu was never alone again. He learned to trust people and became a loyal dog. Tutu shook his head and looked back at the house. His owner called his name, and Tutu ran happily inside. He knew that wherever they went, he would be safe because he was loved. While I was reading, did you notice something interesting? Did you notice that some words in the story tell us more than their dictionary meaning? Let us look at this sentence together. Before, he was a small puppy left alone on the street. Let's think carefully. The literal meaning of alone is by oneself. But in the story, does alone only mean by oneself? No, it doesn't. In the story, alone also means scared, abandoned, and having no one to care for him. So this meaning is implied. It is not said directly, but we understand it from the story. Class, in this simple example, we learn that literal meaning, also called denotative, is the dictionary meaning of a word, while implied meaning or connotative is the feeling or idea suggested by the word. This meaning is not said directly, but we understand it from the story. And that brings us to our lesson today. We will learn three important skills: using words with literal and implied meanings, using context clues like analogy, general sense, and punctuation to understand words, and interpreting tone and mood in visuals. Just like flashbacks have signal words, stories also give us clues, feelings, and pictures to help us understand them better. First, let us focus again on the meaning of words in the story. Here is another example. Tutu sat quietly outside the house. What does quietly literally mean? Without noise and silent. But in the story, does quietly only mean silent? No. In the story, quietly also suggests that Tutu feels worried, and Tutu is thinking deeply. So here, quietly has an implied meaning. So far, we learned that a word can have a literal meaning or its dictionary meaning, and an implied meaning or the feeling or idea suggested by the word. Now, here's an important question. How did we know what these words really meant? Did the story explain everything directly? No. We understood the meanings because the story gave us clues. These words are called context clues. Context clues are words or sentences around the word that help us understand its meaning. Now, let us learn how to use context clues to understand them. Again, the three types are analogy, general gist or sense, and punctuation. Let's begin. First, analogy. An analogy compares one thing to another to help us understand meaning. For example, Tutu stayed beside his owner like a shadow. Is Tutu really a shadow? No, but isn't it? A shadow never leaves a person it follows. So the word shadow suggests that Tutu is loyal and always close to his owner. We understood this using analogy. Context clue number two, general gist or sense. Sometimes we understand the word by looking at the whole situation. For example, he was scared and hungry, and cars passed by quickly. From the situation, we know that Tutu had no home and the street was dangerous. So scared means feeling unsafe and afraid. We understood this using the general sense of the sentence. And punctuation. Sometimes writers use punctuation marks to help explain the meaning of a word. Punctuation marks are not just for stopping or pausing. They can also give us extra information. For example, Tutu became loyal, always staying close to his owner. Look at the punctuation mark in the middle of the sentence. This punctuation mark is called a dash. A dash tells us that the writer is about to explain something. In the example, after the dash, the sentence says, always staying close to his owner. This part explains what loyal means. So, based on the sentence, what does loyal mean? It means faithful, trusting, and never leaving. We did not guess the meaning of loyal. The dash helped us understand the word. That is why we say this is a punctuation context clue. The punctuation mark gave us the meaning. Words don't just tell us meaning, they also help us understand the tone and mood of a story. Tone is how the character feels, and mood is how the story makes us feel. Imagine this scene, Tutu sitting quietly, bags packed, owner inside the house. The word quietly and the picture of packed bags help us feel that the moment is calm and serious. Because of these, the scenes create a thoughtful mood and a gentle and serious tone. Now imagine this flashback. A small puppy, an empty street, fast cars. These scenes create a sad and fearful mood and a serious tone. So, class, let us remember what we learned today. Words can have literal and implied meanings. We use context clues to understand them. Analogy, general sense, and punctuation. And words and visuals help us understand tone and mood. All of these help us understand the story better. Now it's your turn. Choose one word or one scene from Tutu and answer. What is its literal meaning? What is its implied meaning? And what tone or mood does it show? Write your answers in the comments. Great job, class! We just finished another lesson that will surely help you level up in school, life, and the future. Do not forget to watch the other lesson videos on this channel. Para every lesson, ikaw ang bida. See you next time.